There's the little red button. Hello, my name is Scott Donnet. Even though it says Becky Bolt in the bottom of my little picture there, that is our church Zoom name. So every time it comes up, that's the name that comes up for me. So I'm here with Betty. Betty, how do I say your last name properly?
It's Withrow.
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 Betty helps people write, and she told me a little bit about herself, but I'm going to let her take just a minute or two and tell us a little bit about who she is and what she does. Betty, take it away.
Thank you, Scott. It's been nice getting to know you slightly before this interview. I am Betty Withrow. I'm the owner and operator of the Writers Launchpad, and my mission is to further the cause of language and the written word. I'm focused on author support and copy creation for businesses. I do a lot of editing. I write copy, as I just mentioned, for different types of businesses. And I am in the process of creating a training for business writing so that people can understand the basics of how to get an effective message across. I'm really happy to be getting to know these people in this community. I love the energy level that's here. And so
could you tell me why you have this knack or this passion, let's say, for writing, for the creation of copy that helps entrepreneurs move themselves forward? What kind of got you into the groove of language?
Okay, well, I've always been a language person. I've been obsessed with language ever since I was a little kid. I was the weirdo who dragged around a dictionary and diagrammed sentences for fun and things. And I've been in sales. I started my first business when I was 16. So I've had many types of sales conversations, and I love sales. I love entrepreneurs. And I saw that this was a way I could put something together that can be of use and take all of my nerdiness around language and make it accessible and useful to others instead of being lost in the intellectual swamp of language.
Perfect. Well, let me get into one of those kind of questions then. So from that entrepreneurial world, what is your why?
Well, I'm not a why person. I believe in how a lot more than why. If you wanted to have a why, it would be because I want people to be successful. I want our type of mindset to prevail in the world. And in order to do that, we have to be able to create the leverage in the marketplace that language can provide. When you reach your customer effectively, you make the sale and you have more options for creating greater success. So that's my why.
So during this COVID restrictive kind of upheaval, there's been a lot more than just viruses. There's been all kinds of social and emotional upheaval as well. What has helped you to pivot, and what has been that thing that you've learned from this, I guess going on 9 months at this point, process of really kind of moving through what we've all been experiencing?
Well, I've had to get really deep into the most uncomfortable part of my emotional process and face things for what they are. And and learn how to turn that incredible rage that has come up from the loss factor that we all know and turn it into something useful. And my way of dealing with being uncomfortable has always been to reach out and go, okay, if you want something, go out and get it. So I'm connecting with people as much as possible, picking up the phone, getting on Messenger, learning who I feel most in alignment with, and getting into that and letting go of things that don't work. That's
So
how
you've really used it. That's how you've coped.
yeah, yeah. It's a lot of it is acceptance that we're not going back to how things were, and like you and I were saying earlier, in a lot of cases that's a really good thing, and seeing the opportunity that's here now and moving into that to get more into what we can share together when we have a positive mindset. So
Yeah, I think doing things like this, doing interviews, creating more content around what we do, what we believe in, what we vision for the future. From a virtual standpoint, from an online place, is going to be real critical as far as what happens in the future. All right, Betty, thank you, and I appreciate your time today. And we'll take a little breather and do a switcheroo.
okay, yeah,
So, how did that feel for you?
that feels good. It feels good. So I'm going to pause for a minute.
Okay.
And now, Scott, I'd like to ask you about you. So tell me more about who you are and what you do.
So, again, my name is Scott Don, not Becky Bull, like it says down in the corner. And I'm the foot guy. I am a mobile reflexologist here in Central Florida. And I kind of coined myself as a self-care specialist. That's kind of wrapped around the wellness spheres that I created back in 2017. So initially, I was a reflexologist here locally at a clinic. And then in 2014, I went mobile. As I progressed through the process of building my business, I added essential oils, I added tuning forks, I created the wellness spheres that I discussed just a second ago, and excuse me. And there was a bridge that needed to be made between the emotional and the physical, that because of the work that I'd been doing over the past 30 years, fit perfectly into what I was doing. The reflexology and the emotional awareness, the EQ, let's say, became a factor that allowed me to do work that other people weren't doing. Every time I found a physical imbalance, we were able to bring that back to an emotional cause and kind of work that emotional issue so that the client could release that, and therefore they really didn't need the physical reminder anymore. And healing and balance physically was able to happen much quicker. Great results allowed me to build my business, and the rest has really been history. I came to Achieve. I created some education. I created a cool little box to put my toys in, and been having a great time.
Yeah, that sounds good. I love what you just said about how when the emotions are released, they don't need the physical reminder. I mean, that's so key to the work that you're doing. So tell me more about the why of it.
So I don't know that I have that traditional entrepreneurial solopreneur why. What's your change the world desire? I don't know that I had one. I think perhaps it's been a part of who I am the whole way along. So realizing a why when I made the pivot didn't jump out at me. So I've been doing an emotional breakthrough workshop since '91. I've been doing men's work since '94. I've been doing hypnosis and co-owned a wellness center here locally all through the '90s. So that healer, that collaborator, that person who wanted to be part of helping people to realize their full potential, their wellness, their wonder in the world, because it didn't get turned on, because it was had always been on, I finally just pivoted, I think, to a place where it made sense. So I mean, the ultimate why was because my wife asked me to. Right? I came home yet again grumpy from work at a restaurant, and she said, "Is there not something else you can do?" And I said, "Yeah, I can rub feet," and the rest was history. That was, August 2014, and the Foot Guy has become what it's become in just 6 short years. So it's been quite a blessing. So yeah, again, I don't know if there was necessarily a why, other than kind of an alignment as opposed to a why. I moved back into alignment with what I was supposed to be doing, I think.
Yeah, yeah. Good move. Good move.
Yeah.
A move toward happiness is a good move. So,
Yeah.
like, and when I look at your face, you look like a happy person, and I love happy people. I mean, we all have our moments, and if happiness is your thing, and you're in that groove, then
Hmm.
yeah. So tell me more.
Yeah. Finding joy in what you do is a treat.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously, we don't always love every minute of every day. However, when you know that you're doing something that you respect and that you love on some level, you're ready to endure something in the cause of that.
Yeah.
Um, so tell me how, speaking of enduring things, how have you pivoted during COVID?
So I don't know that I did. Again, I didn't necessarily increase my business or increase my bottom line. I didn't put more profit to the bottom line. I'll show a loss this year. However, I really came into alignment with everything that I'm doing. So I wrote a book. Loose extension of the education that I created in 2018. A little bit more detail on the hows and the whys and the idiosyncrasies that created and brought it all forth and made it all happen. The behind the scenes kind of look at it, plus a way for practitioners to utilize the education, and a way for lay people to utilize it in their family and their homes, and create a baseline of self-care that's constant, which is one of the things that's missing in our whole healthcare system. Is how do we take care of ourselves by ourselves before we get to the doctor and after.
Right.
So I think the other piece that I did was I started to focus on some of the other endeavors that we have going on, not necessarily on building and growing clientele for Foot Guy, but we have a multi-faith church. I put a lot of energy into that. And initially we were canceling and postponing and rescheduling workshop after workshop after workshop, all the way through the end of July. Finally, we just gave up and said, okay, next year. So those are some of the things we did. When people say, what did you do during COVID? I wrote a book, and for me, that is a big deal because I'm a high school dropout. So in reality, the way the process happened was I paced back and forth in my living room and my wife typed. and one of my local mentors here in town is going to edit for us. So we really feel blessed and honored that we get to just be hanging out in this and not having to struggle and being able to stay focused on making a difference and what are we going to do on the other side of this in the recreation of whatever the new normal is going to be, whatever this new thing is going to be that we are creating right now. I want to be a part of that, and I want it to be compassionate, and I want it to be collaborative, and I want it to be kind, and I want it to be loving, and I want it to be supportive. while we all get to make the money and experience the abundance that we all want, deserve, and it's going to feed and take care of all kinds of folks. So I'm excited. Yeah, it definitely does not have to be a scary place or a scary time, even though there's scary stuff happening and it's a scary time.
Right. Right. Yeah. Well, so much in life depends on where you place your attention, and you seem to really have a grasp of that concept. So I congratulate you, because it's a massive realization. Once you realize that it really is about your mindset, then you can take whatever happens and use it to its best advantage. It's all fuel at some point, you know. So yeah.
Agreed.
Yes.
Back to that rocket fuel that makes everything go.
Yes, it does. Yeah, and anything can be turned into fuel when you have that
Yes.
ability to see that, you know, to penetrate to the core of the matter, as it were. So
Yes.
thank you so much for sharing all of that. I love it. So
Thank you.
I'm going to hit the pause and we'll stop recording, and thank you for a great interview.
Thank you. It
Look
was
forward to
fun.
getting to know you. So
Yeah.
I'm going to pause now.